Hello, today I want to talk about a real topic that affects most of us people working for or working with other people. When you find out that you have a mean boss or horrible boss, it's like being cornered with a big mean old bully on the playground, and the teacher's not even looking in your direction to save you from this bully. And what this means is you're trapped, like a caged animal. The only difference now is you are a full grown adult. No one is coming to save you. There's no teacher on the playground. You are alone in the situation. And you can't quit either, because in reality you really need the job. Or so it might seem. No one is contesting the fact. But normally, what most people do in the situation is they lie down and take the beating and just stick with it for as long as possible. So long as you found a self-destructive way to take out your daily frustrations on. And this can take the forms of substance abuse, gambling, being moody, being aggressive, and taking it out on the family and the spouse and the children. And even some behaviors that might seem acceptable by society. But for some, it is just a means of escape. For instance, excessive prayer. The thing about having to deal with a horrible boss, mean supervisor, or even a friend, or any other type of relationship we have with others, is to deal with the truth that no matter how it might look like from where you're standing, it is not obvious to the other person that they are the villain in your story, nor are they aware or conscious of the role they are actively playing in your story or reality. So that alone makes it somewhat pointless to reason or seek empathy from such a person. Most of the times, when you confront people who have been mean or wronged you in some way, they end up justifying their actions, or they're flat out surprised that that is how you feel about them. And some might even take it up a notch and refuse that that is not the case. And we have a term for it. It's called gaslighting. You will be gaslighted. Whether the person is a sociopath, but you need to consider the possibility that according to them, genuinely, they are not aware of the role they are playing in your story. They might not even be aware of the impact they might be having in your life, or that they're responsible for causing an upheaval in your reality. It all happens here. Everything happens in the mind. It is also very possible that they have completely a different perspective of the situation from where they're also standing. The reason why I'm saying this is for you to understand how important it is to be aware of this possibility, so that you are able to use it to your advantage. You're able to use the knowledge to your advantage. It helps you not to ignore the very fact that all truths are but half truths. We will always have two sides or more to every situation. And for you to insist that yours is the one and only truth, the same as going against the current, you will just create more problems for yourself than it's worth. And your life will just be harder. But if that is what you prefer, and that is how you prefer your life to be, or to live your life, then this video is definitely not for you. However, if you want to avoid all of this, then I encourage you to watch until the end of this video, because this video might just change your whole reality. When you are sat in a room that has a window, you will only see as far as the boundaries of your window, or what your window will allow you to see. No matter how much you lean in, you will only have access to that perspective. And see, another person is sat across from the room. That other person will also have access to what their window will allow them to see, which is likely to be something that is completely different from what you're seeing from your own window. So it is safe to say that it would not be a good idea to invalidate what they are seeing from their own window, and assume that what you are seeing from your own window is the accurate full depiction of what could potentially be outside. You could have a hill on one side, a forest on the other, and a river on the other side. So you cannot just base the situation from one perspective, no matter how accurate and no matter how good your eyesight is. You must accept that you only have half of the picture, and in most cases, even less than half. When you accept and fully make peace with this possible truth, you will approach situations that are happening in your life or reality with a curiosity or with a sense of curiosity. And curiosity is a very useful ability to have. You become interested, you are engaged, you are fully locked in, you're aware, you are conscious. A lot of situations that we meet in life need to be approached with a sense of curiosity and from a point of compromise. We must always strive to be impartial and aim for the middle ground if we are to experience a less dramatic, easier life. Every situation that you come across, if approached from a point of neutrality, is a potentially win-win situation where everyone in that situation wins. That is the essence of coexisting with each other. You and that other person that is giving you hell, that mean boss, or that unreasonable friend or coworker, you all can equally get what you need from the same situation without any conflict or without any resistance. If only you know how to change the script in your favor, it is all very possible. You just need to play the game and use the rules of the game and the abilities you have at your disposal to your advantage. Everything that human beings do, they do so out of some passion. Our actions towards everything we do are driven by an internal force, a drive we also call intention or motive. It is this internal driving force that we act from that compels us to react the way we do to every situation we encounter on a daily basis. A simple example can be on a random day, you're on your way to work and you get caught up in a traffic jam, queue. Obviously, queues are never fun, and naturally, most people will become agitated. If we had to single out one instance or one scenario and analyze the possible driving force as to why some people would be agitated when they're stuck in traffic. Possible scenarios could be perhaps they're late for work, and you might suggest, it's simple enough, why not just call in and inform their boss that they will be slightly late? Perhaps it could be maybe they have already been warned as not to be late and automatically they're already on the management's radar for something. And this could potentially spiral into a disciplined action and putting their employment at risk. Worst case scenario, they lose their job, for instance, and is unable to secure another job or employment as soon as. How are they going to support themselves and their, say, family? From one reaction to a simple scenario, you can narrow down the factors that cause people to behave how they behave. For instance, in this situation, we can observe or we can notice that this agitation is being caused or the primary driving force is fear. And as you go along, you will notice that fear is the common driving force in most areas of our lives. We live in a fear-based reality. And why this is this way, we will leave that for another day. However, most people that we interact with, or even ourselves, act from or are motivated by fear. Fear of something or something unknown happening to us that is not pleasant. Or the insecurity that we carry that we are not good enough. And hence we feel the need to do more than we need to. No matter how bad someone has been to you, the reality of things is that no one is a villain in their own story. And what you can do with this information is when someone has acted mean or is openly bad to you, the very least they can do is offer an apology to you. The apology, though, will still carry a justification of why they behaved that way towards you. When you have come across this situation, my advice, take the win, accept the apology and move on. Do not try to ask for more or ask them to give a heartfelt apology without justifications or convince them otherwise. Because no one will allow the fact that they are the villain in their own eyes. You will do better to know that, and you cannot convince them that they are so. Unless you are brainwash or manipulate them, of which that is not a moral thing for you to do either. So the best thing is to avoid manipulating others. Okay, so back on track. You have found yourself in a situation where you have to deal with this person, this mean boss that is driving you crazy and is, according to you, is very unreasonable and cannot be reasoned with. You might have other people that share this feeling with you and agree with your perspective. However, for this to work, you will have to ignore these opinions, because other people's opinions and other people's feelings, emotions, in this case, they do not matter. Remember, this is your reality and not theirs. The question remains though, how then do you handle this mean old boss? Step 1. Learn as much information about them as you can. If you cannot get the information directly from them, for whatever reason, ask the people around you. Do your research about this person. Be creative, get something. You might wonder why any of this is relevant. This is what I want you to pay attention to. The purpose of this information gathering stage is not because we want to have something over them, so we can gossip about them or blackmail them. No, absolutely not. We really need to rise above such pettiness or petty behavior as people, because we are far better than that. You must remember never to use anything you know about anyone in a negative way knowingly to cause them harm, because it does not benefit you in any way except come right back and harm you. Whatever you put out, you get back in the same exact measure. The universal law of cause and effect, or what is commonly known as karma, is always in play, and you will always have to answer for your actions. I am not worried if some of you don't believe in karma or the universal law of cause and effect, because the universal laws remain true whether you believe in them or not. Just like gravity. You might not believe in gravity or might not even be aware of it, but if you try and toss yourself from a tall building, you are more than likely going to come down very fast. So some laws exist outside of our own subjective beliefs. Anyway, moving on. Information gathering stage 1. Gather as much information about them and try to be curious and open-minded about what you find out. I simply cannot stress enough how important you have to be genuine. You have to be genuinely interested to know. Because the purpose of this process of getting to know this person that is causing you, grief, is simply to learn one simple but very important truth about them. What is driving them? That is it. What is really motivating them to do what they do? Once you know what genuinely drives this person or people, the rest is really easy, because the hard stage is the first stage. When you really know and understand what drives them, you can sit back and offer it to them. You need to stop fighting people, stop resisting and creating unnecessary tension with others. What it does, it just drains you. Learn to know people with a genuine interest, pure and curiosity. That is what people relation is all about. That is how you create non-toxic, equally beneficial relationships with people all around you. The reason I say that stage 1 is hard is for this reason. It is very hard to change your mind about the character you have already assigned to a particular person without seeing the proof that they have changed first. Our minds will automatically resist and reject change because it wants to see proof of the change first before it changes the character of the person, which becomes very complicated. We all know mind creates reality, and we have to change their character first in our mind and accept their new role. Then we will be able to see the transformation gradually happen in real time, because once again, mind creates reality. Easy, right? How then do you convince your mind to accept, to change your, say, main boss's character without proof and without you trying to bulldoze or force your mind to accept? Because you want this to happen naturally without causing any resistance within yourself. Because if you try and force your logical mind, it will fight you back. It is the logical mind after all, and it looks for proof. So if what you are doing is bulldozing your way, it will cause internal resistance, and this resistance will manifest stuff in your reality that you will hate, and you will simply give up. That is a fight that you can never win. But there's a better way to bypass all this, and I've already given you the answer. That you need to be genuinely interested in knowing about them. You need to develop pure curiosity, same as having the innocence or the innocent curiosity of a child, where you really want to know for the sake of knowing, and not because you have malicious intentions. No. So if you know your intentions are malicious, just don't even bother, because it's not going to work. What happens is when you reapproach them with genuine interest, it somehow resets the predisposed idea you had of them, allowing you to form a new opinion of them based on the new information you now know or now have about them. This can then make them more relatable and allow you to form a new opinion or idea of who they are. And the role that you need them to play, or the new role that you need them to play in your reality, can change immediately to, well, your advantage. No harm. This approach allows you to change your mind about someone without proof that they have changed, because your genuine interest will put you in a state where you are open to see them from their own perspective, or as they really are, and not as how you wanted to see them from your own perspective. I can assure you this process does work, and it will work only if you allow it to work. The thing about engaging or having a conversation with people is people will tell you everything that you need to know about them. That is if you're fully engaged, and if you actually want to listen to understand. People will gladly tell you everything you need to know, even in one conversation. Everyone you see around you has a relationship with themselves first, before they have a relationship with anyone else. So that everything people do or say is truly, at the core, really only about themselves, or a reflection of themselves. The problem that people have during a conversation, it remains that they don't listen to absorb what the other person is saying, but rather listen to reply, and maybe even say something to impress the other person. Because the aim of the conversation really is, what can I say to impress or wow the other person? It never really is about the other person or genuinely getting to know the other person. We might be having a conversation, but the focus still remains on ourselves. The day that you actually manage to switch your focus and instead put it on the other person and fully listen to them, that is the day when you might actually happily say that you are learning listening skills. But otherwise, not many of us actually care enough to pay attention and listen to what others have to say. Step 2, engage them. Try and have a conversation with them from a point where you are impartial and not biased by preassigned expectations of them. Wipe the slate completely clean of all previous opinions you are holding of them. Think of it in this way. Would you rather someone judged you based on an impression they have adopted from someone, and not even giving you a chance or make an effort to draw their own opinions of you by, say, engaging with you directly. People will easily adopt other people's beliefs and opinions of others. Like, say, you have started a new job, and people will normally tell you all sorts. What to expect from the manager, for instance, if they are approachable or not, who to watch out for. It's like some sort of an initiation into the herd. And naturally, if we want to fit in into this new environment, we seamlessly accept these opinions as our own and let them play out and control our reality without even knowing that we have fallen victim to the ideas and opinions of others. It's very unfortunate, but people do this regardless and all the time. And not only in the work setting, really, but pretty much everywhere. Let go of the pre-existing opinions you have of others, even if these opinions are coming from someone you trust. Be kind enough to draw out your own conclusions of people, and always have an open mind when approaching people, no matter what your feelings are about them. Give them the opportunity, same as you would want others to extend the same courtesy when approaching you. When approaching anyone, it doesn't matter who they are. Bear this in mind. People have this inbuilt inclination to be liked. This is why people will automatically change their voice when talking on the phone or speaking to a stranger. Small things that we all do that we don't even notice and know that we do. But your subconscious know the importance. That is why the switch is automatic. It is a survival mechanism. When approaching people, observe these subtle changes and engage them. Keep eye contact and ask them about themselves and let them tell you about themselves. And if you're listening to what they are saying to you, you will know what motivates them and what they truly are seeking, whether from a job or from friendship or whatever relationship that you develop with them. Almost all the time, people are seeking either one or all of the following fundamental needs, and that is respect from others, control of their circumstances or resources, and recognition or appreciation from others. Depending on the relationship that you have with whoever you are relating to, whether it be professional or a personal relationship, it can vary from them seeking one or two or all three of those needs. Once you find a way to recognize what it is that they seek, when you offer it to them, you will have no reason whatsoever to be in any type of resistance or tension with them. For instance, it's your first day at a new company, new job, and as expected, you have a welcoming brief with a head of HR or someone of that caliber. And right off the bat, you sense something is off with this person. And it's clearly not the best journey chat that, you've had. And this really upsets you. And you even wonder if you still want to work and be a part of this environment. You go home and you moan about your potential boss, and as time goes by, still, there's no change. You clearly sense tension between you and this person. Unlike others, you overhear people talk in passing about the same person and how their views or opinions of this person contradicts your own about this manager, this HR manager. And you make up your mind and form an opinion that it must be something about you they dislike. And you wonder what you did to them to bring out such hostility when everyone around you does not have the same experience with them. What do? You accept this truth and carry on, avoiding them whenever you can, because every conversation you have with this person, they cannot help it but undermine and criticize you every chance they get. And every engagement you have with them really upsets you. So you decide to avoid and stay out of their way whenever you can. What you don't know is this. The day you joined, they had just received terrible news from their spouse that they might be getting a divorce. Yeah. It wasn't the best day for them, and sadly, for you, they couldn't have someone welcome you because all the HR department had been given a day off because of a party they had the previous night. And this person volunteered to come in because they don't drink. So here they were, associating you to their misfortune. Each time they see you, subconsciously, they associate you with what is happening to them. And that triggers a negative response. That is why they have always been hostile to you from day one. As all of this is happening, guess what? They don't have a clue. They're making your life, or they're making you miserable. Because it's all subconscious, you see. They're not aware they are doing it. So what is the right course of action at this point? What do? Do you quit? Because you actually, for some reason, you actually like working here. The benefits are good. They let you work from home most of the times, and it is only 20 minutes away from your child's school. So you want to stay here, but the only issue is this HR manager. He's making your life a living hell. What do you do to change your circumstances or make them better, or make the circumstances better for yourself? Easy. You put stage 1 into effect. You gather information about them, and soon enough, you will find out they're going through a divorce. And you will later find out that they got the news the same day that you joined. So eventually, you will get all the information that you require to understand what they are going through. And some people might argue that, why can't the person that is causing you harm make the effort to get to know you? Well, remember, it is you that is uncomfortable in this situation. It is you who needs this reality to change. It is you that is in hell and not them. It is your reality. They don't have any idea that they are the villain in your reality or in your story. Therefore, you can't convince them that they are the villain.
That is why it is you who will have to take the initiative to change your reality and not them. When you know what you know, engage them and try to know them while maintaining an open mind. See what they need from you. Is it appreciation that they seek? Or are they seeking someone who sees them and recognizes their effort in what they're doing for the company, for instance?
Because even though they might be going through something challenging in their personal life, and they might not even mention this to you, but because you have done the needful, you have done your research, you can be the one person to reassure them and restore their sense of self-worth, which might reassure all the areas in their life, including helping them find solace from what they might be going through, just by you genuinely recognizing them and seeing them for who they actually are. Everything people do is a fight to establish a sense of importance in the hierarchy of life. No one wants to be or feel less than in any way. And if you realize that these three things, respect, recognition, and appreciation, boost people's self-importance, and whatever you sense is missing in others, and they are actively and tirelessly seeking it, and you come in and offer it to them, you will be like a godsend to them, and they will do whatever it takes to support you and give you what you require from them. Stop fighting and resisting people. What you need to do is get to know people and learn to coexist with them. As always, stay safe. Siggo.